How are we, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, Creating Koala on all social media platforms, and here we'll be deep diving on all things health and wellness related. How are you? Great, fantastic, love to hear it. School, for me, is now done. I've finished my second semester of my master's program. One more semester, then we're good. Crazy times, really weird time right now. Took the transition period where everyone's graduating that I know. Not everyone, but most people. So it's fun times. Get to go to some dinners, hang out with some people, go to some graduations, and then next week start up an internship. Yeah, pretty cool. Got an internship within Michigan athletics. I don't know if I've said that yet. So I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah. So I'll be working with the athletic department here at the University of Michigan, which is gonna be sick. Really cool. Gonna get some cool experience, work with some really cool people, some absolutely prominent figures in the field, and I'm very, very excited. Hopefully can lead to some things, and can't be too expeditious. Is that a word? I don't think it is, but I can't be too foregoing. Just kind of gotta learn and see what I can do, but it's gonna be super fun. Another thing I wanted to quickly talk about, which is going to kind of lead into the episode, is I feel fantastic right now. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is. I'm about to tell you what it is, really. I feel like I've really honed in on what works for me really well, and then can kind of give some more tips about what can help with you. But right now, it's the strongest I've felt in a very long time. The leanest I've probably been at like a good weight. Like I'm currently like 215 right now. I think weighing like 214.7 or 3 this morning, something like that, which is pretty heavy for me. I played basketball last year at like 195, 200 for most of the year. So, but I also look really lean, and my cardio is really good right now. My heart rate's pretty good. I got my blood work done the other day, was really good. Got a DEXA, was pretty decent for what I'm at, and also tried dunking. I've been trying to get my vert up recently, not by doing anything crazy, just doing some plyos and then just dunking whenever I play basketball, and got a few ring races the other day, so that's pretty cool. I didn't record any of them because I tried recording them and then I wasn't getting any, so I just stopped recording, and then my girlfriend popped in, and then I got one long ball, crazy. When I wasn't recording, but yeah, I said a couple. I got one clean one, and then one where I kind of hit rim and then it bounced up and went in. Don't really count that, but got one decently clean one. So that's really cool, and I have like no joint pain at all, and I really tested to my taking control of my health, which is the theme of the episode, is how to take control of your health. And I feel like I say this a lot, but a lot of people think that there's not enough time in a day, or they have too much going on to take control of their health or their wellness in any kind of way. And I just think that's bullshit. I don't think it's true, because I feel like there's a lot of people who think that it takes a lot of time, or specifically that it's just that it has to take over your life to get it in check. And for me, this past year or so, I really found what the difference, because there's a huge difference from health taking over your life and you just prioritizing your health. Because there's a difference between having it as a priority and having it as the only priority, if that makes sense. Because you can have multiple priorities at the same time. You can have work, family, and health as priorities in your life. Because there's so much that goes on in your life. Whoever you are, wherever you're doing, wherever you are, whatever point of life you're in, health is a pillar. Like, it is a pillar of life in general. And if you don't take care of it by maintaining the pillar and placing the rocks that you need to for it, it will wither away and it's gonna fall. And then once that pillar falls, everything else is going to crumble because it's not going to maintain the building. Was it kind of smooth? Was it? Oh, I kind of like that. Because I mean, I know we talk about, like, one of my professors talks about like the pillars of health, and then I kind of wove health into a pillar of life. Smooth, right? Anyway, but because there is a huge difference, because I feel like for me personally, for a lot of years of my for a lot of years of my life, I thought it had to be the biggest thing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because people who do that feel great, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of energy out of a lot of other things if it's the absolute only thing you focus on. And I feel like, honestly, that if you have that though, that creates more stress, which, if you listen to my other episodes, stress is one of the biggest killers of everything, and it ruins a lot of progress. And I feel like since I've reorganized my priorities, and it's still a main priority, but it's not the only priority, that my stress has gone way down, and I just feel a lot better because of that. And you don't have to delve so much time into it. You just have to focus enough energy into it to where you're hitting your foundations. I know I talk about him a lot, but Higher Up Wellness, Michael Smoke, talks a lot about how people have ceilings for their fitness, like they want to hit these massive goals each day. Whereas it's way better if you just have baselines, if you have a floor that's, no matter what in a day, you're going to hit those. Whether it's your 8 to 10,000 steps, whether it's eating 80-20, getting enough sleep in a day. If you have those floors, you will win, you will feel better, it'll be fantastic. And that's the difference between I need to work out for 2 hours in a day, I need to have extremely clean lifts, I need to eat at these exact times, I need to eat these exact foods, and I need to avoid stresses at all costs. I need to wear blue light glasses, I need to wear my mouth tape, I need to wear cotton-free boxes so my gonads and my test goes up. If you do all of these things in a day and you don't get one of them, it's just going to be so much stress, and you're going to fall into these deep holes, and that's where binging and getting off track, that's where all that comes in. Whereas if you just have priorities in a day of where, instead of walking or instead of driving or whatever, I'm going to walk to class. It may, instead of taking a 3-minute drive, it might be a 15-minute walk. That's getting extra steps in a day. That's not doing too much, but it's, in the long run, it's going to be so beneficial for you. And some things that I've found out through my long journey and making a lot of mistakes, if you can get these 4 big rocks in your pillar, in your health pillar, if you can get these 4 rocks really solid and have a solid foundation, the other pebbles don't matter as much. What I'm talking about in terms of the rocks and pebbles, for those who aren't following along, or if didn't explain it well at all, if you're building a massive building, or if you're building a massive monument of some sort, a lot of people focus on the pebbles, on the little things, like the wearing the blue light glasses, like I said before, like the cotton-free boxes to increase your testosterone, or trying to eat these certain foods because they said it increases whatever. And those aren't, if you have 100 of those, if you have 100 of those in a day, will it help? It might help, yeah. But if you have these massive boulders of which are like nutrition, sleep, movement, stress, whatever else it is, you have these massive, because they're massive. If you get these boulders in check, if you just eat as many whole foods as you can, if you sleep it enough, and you have those as your foundation, that's what's going to really help the structure of whatever you're building. And over time, if you get these boulders and you have so many of these stacked up, you're going to be so much further than if you focus on, rather than if you focused on the smaller pebbles. Get me what I'm saying? So for me, and what I see as like the most crucial for every human being out there are 4 pillars of health, which are, sorry, nutrition. I already said these just before, but follow me along here. Nutrition, sleep, movement, and stress. I'm going to go over these 4 quickly. I'm not going to go insanely in depth because the point is to make them simple. Sorry, I hit the table. Simple, easy to follow, and have easy foundations so you can collect these and have them hit each day easily without thinking too much about them, so that you can still prioritize everything else in your life. It's just that if your health is at its highest, or is at above average, you will feel better and be able to perform everything else easier in your life with less stress. And it won't have to take over your life to take care of yourself. So the first one I'm going to talk about is nutrition. I feel like it's the most easily changeable, I guess. No, well, okay. They're all pretty sustainable, like changeable as well, but I feel like this is the one that people stress out about the most, is nutrition. And in reality, it's super, super, super simple. Really, 2 things: protein intake and whole foods. And maybe like a multivitamin, that's the third thing. But, okay, so first thing, protein intake. Having a protein intake that's higher has been seen and studied multiple times to have more favorable body composition measurements than not. And higher protein intake isn't necessarily a gram, it's per pound of body weight. It's probably closer to 0.8, even 0.6 in some cases. And having these foods will help you feel better, feel more satiated throughout a day, have you less focused on food and less focused on all of that stuff, and will help you prioritize the rest of your time, right? So eating higher protein diets will also help you recover from bouts of exercise, bouts of whatever, will help you build muscle tissue, will help build your immune system because your body's repairing things quicker, aka also everything, so including your immune system, so you will feel better. It's ironic that I'm saying this while I have like a bit of a sinus thing going on, but it's really annoying, by the way. I hate it. I hate sounding sick more than actually being sick. You know what I mean? But anyway, regardless, that's honestly all you really need to focus on. Also if you know what your DEXA is, if you know what your body fat percentage is, you know what your lean body mass is, eating a pound per gram for lean body mass, or 1.2, I guess, as well. That's great too. If you know that, if you don't know that, just go off either your ideal body weight, or if you're already fairly lean and are at a healthier body weight. And like, I'm saying that because there's people who are like 300 to 400 pounds who are like, oh, I can't get a gram per pound of blah, 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 body weight for protein. You don't have to eat 300 grams of protein. You can. It's not going to hurt you really. But if you are if you're trying to lose or maintain a certain amount of lean body mass and trying to just lose body fat, eating your goal weight in protein is probably more ideal. And then focusing on whole foods for micronutrients, satiety, fiber, all that stuff. Those are the main 3 things for why focusing on whole foods is better, because you're also focusing on whole foods, you're going to eat protein sources that are better for you. But the key word is focusing. It's not you have to have only 80-20 rule, fantastic. 80% whole foods, 20% whatever you want. if you're going out to dinner with friends, don't be the guy, because I have been this guy who's like, no, I can't have that. It's bad for me. Or blah, 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 blah. I don't want to indulge in this. And then you kind of feel left out or whatever. Have a beer or two on the occasion. It doesn't have to be every night. Like, people are going to understand if you don't want to drink every night, because people aren't stupid. They might be able to do it, but they'll also understand, oh, we drank yesterday, or we're going to drink tomorrow. He just doesn't want to drink today. That's fine. That works out. People don't think about you how you think about you. You are thinking, oh, they're going to hate me if I don't drink today, or they're going to think I'm a loser if I don't drink today. People either forget about it, or they are completely understanding. If you're hanging around the right people, that is to say, actually. And if you aren't, don't hang around those people. That's what I'm going to say. But be okay and don't stress too much about going off plan for one meal or not being able to eat the healthiest food for a day. Dude, it's completely fine. It's going to work out. Don't stress too much over it, because it's just going to make you feel worse. And then this is where you're going to fall off the rails with your health journey, which is going to impact you harder in the long run, to whereas if you just have a beer or have a burger at dinner, if that's the only thing they have, oh well. That day isn't ruined. That meal isn't ruined. It's completely fine. If anything, it might help you reduce stress levels a little bit. It might help you chill out, which is good. The only other thing that I have in nutrition is, I guess, it's about nutrition, which is to do with coffee, which is kind of going to lead into the next one, which is sleep. Limiting coffee to under 400 milligrams, in a day, and also before midday, like 12 hours before bed. Like, at the latest 8 hours before bed, that's still seen the impact of the sleep at least a little bit. If you have like a black coffee or a Monster or a pre-workout, especially pre-workout, because that's higher in caffeine and higher in also stimulants. But limiting that stuff before that period of time is, because I'm not saying coffee isn't bad for you. It's a performance enhancer, helps you think more clearly sometimes, or depending on who you are, could make you more jittery. But I know one of my friends, he could drink a coffee at 9 p.m. and go to sleep by 9:30, which is kind of insane to me. But yeah, he was fine with it. Some people are just like that, and being not dialed completely at 9 p.m. is good, because like it's going to lead to the second thing, which is sleep. The coffee thing, if you have it close to 8 hours before, like, or 8 hours or closer to your bedtime, it will affect your sleep, which will hinder everything. Not everything, but it will hinder a lot of processes that are going on in your body at night. And you want to minimize any interruptions to that period as much as possible. So limiting caffeine before then is good. Then going into the sleep thing, the second thing. 7 to 9 hours. For the most part. I know I used to stress about this a lot. Like, if I didn't get 8 hours and I was like, oh, I'm going to feel so bad the next day. Oh my God, it's going to be horrible. If you don't get 7 hours of sleep in a night, it's not the end of the world. You're going to be fine from one night. You might feel a little bit groggier the next day. Oh well, that's just the day you're going to feel a bit groggier. Like, it's not the end of the world. As long as you aren't doing that for a very prolonged period of time, I take that back, actually. As long as you're not doing that for more than a few days at a time, because that's when you start to see really bad negative effects, is that after a few, like 3 or 4 days. If you're doing it for a very, very, very long period of time, stop that right now. It's going to harm you a lot more than you think it is, and it's going to be very, very detrimental to your health. Like, you're going to be more at risk for basically every disease, every injury, every cognitive decline you could think of. That's all going to happen if you have it for a prolonged period of time. But getting less sleep every now and then is completely okay. Sometimes you might get home late from work and have to wake up early the next morning. As long as you're trying to get as much sleep as you can, that's all that matters. All that matters. But it's more so about limiting the days that you get less sleep, more so about prioritizing all the days that you have to get the most sleep, if that makes sense. And this can also be done by limiting your screen time, like an hour or two before bed. Not limiting completely, because I know people go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, or have emails or texts to write or FaceTimes to have. As long as you aren't having your phone here for 4 hours straight before bed, you won't be too affected. Try to limit as much as you can. Maybe read a book instead. Have a little lamp on. You don't have to have blue light glasses, but if you want to, you can. I personally really believe in nasal strips and mouth tape, just because nasal breathing, especially at night, is fantastic for increasing your REM sleep, which is your really deep full sleep, where you have the most recovery. And because I'm someone who has a deviated septum, so having a nasal strip and or mouth tape really just makes you focus, helps you breathe through your nose, because mouth breathing isn't very good for you, and it can actually stress you out more than not by activating, which is parasympathetic. No, your sympathetic is fight or flight. Yeah. No? Whichever one is, I think I should know this off the top of my head. I don't right now for some reason. Whichever one's your fight or flight, that's what is usually activated. So it increases your heart rate, increases blood pressure and stuff like that by you mouth breathing. It's scientifically proven. So nasal breathing and belly breathing is really good for helping you calm down and relax and helping your body kind of reset. So doing that when you're sleeping is fantastic. So you can do that by, again, mouth tape or nasal strips or both. I do recommend both. If you can. If you don't like doing that, don't. I try to do as much as I can, but yeah, I don't stress if I can't get it. And that's really it for sleep. There isn't much else you should focus on. Just focus on limiting your bad sleep as much as you can, but also not stressing if you do get one night's bad sleep. Just get a good night's rest the next day. It'll all be fine. Third thing. I've been talking for 20 minutes, damn. The third thing, movement. And I say movement for a reason. I don't say working out, because you're going to work out every day. Daily movement is important. Getting movement and blood flow and synovial fluid throughout all your joints is more important than resistance training every day. Why? Because getting your body's natural functions and natural processes to happen is best through movement. Your body working to activate everything going on, all the muscles, all the contractions that are happening are really good for activating your body's systems, which then in turn makes them better, makes them work better. And then as you age over time, you will be less likely to get diseases, less likely to get any bad things happening really, and you will be in better shape if you move every day. Now, people might say, why do I have to run every day? You don't. Movement, walking, cleaning, walking the dog, arm wrestling, your partner, doing something, just getting some movement, doing a few squats, exercise snacks like I talked about last episode, just doing 10 squats, 10 burpees, not 10 burpees, not 10 burpees, 10 jumping jacks, lunges, whatever it is, just getting some form of movement in. And then resistance training 3 times a week, 2-3 times a week, 2 to 5 times a week, whatever you want to do. 45-minute workouts, 30-minute workouts. You're going for doing cardio for 150 minutes a week, splitting up however you want. You do it one day, you do it 3 days, you do it 5 days, you can do it every day if you need to. Cardio is something that is very good for your health. Just doing that will help you in the long run, and you will feel fantastic. Can guarantee it. No questions about it. It will be great. Speaking of daily movement, I got a leg workout as soon as this episode's done, which should be hopefully in like 10 minutes. But I'm also gonna not take pre today for the first time in a while. I might still take pre. I probably won't. Probably will, I say that now. But the fourth thing is arguably the most important, which is stress. And I know people are quite against the idea that, well, stress is just a natural part of life. Yes, it is. Stress is needed in life because without stress, you won't adapt. But having levels of stress that are very, very high for too long will be detrimental. Stress is one of the key causes of inflammation. And also, if you know research and biology, inflammation is a key contributor to nearly every disease. Nearly every disease has some form of inflammation. So, if you think about it, stress equals high levels of inflammation. High levels of inflammation is associated with every disease, can cause anything. And then, in turn, vice versa, right? So, limiting stress as much as possible, because there's obviously things that are out of your control, family stuff, work stuff, life happens. That's okay. But being able to handle and understand that life happens will help you manage your stress levels a lot. If you stress out too much about the things that I've talked about today, that's where the health taking over your life thing will just make everything crumble, and it's gonna be too detrimental to focus on your health. Taking care of yourself first shouldn't be a stressful thing. Making sure that you are going to be healthy enough to play with your kids or play with your family or like play backyard cricket or throw a footy around outside, or God forbid a health hazard happens, you being able to recover and not be bedridden afterwards shouldn't be something that you have put on the back burner. And it shouldn't be something either that is extremely stressful, because again, the things I've talked about today, it doesn't take a lot to get your health in check. And just having your baseline kind of things in check is going to be absolutely tremendous for you later in life and in your now life. And some ways to reduce stress are by maintaining healthy relationships. If you believe in spirituality, that's a fantastic way to get rid of a lot of stress. I'm not saying that you have to be, but it is helpful. Again, eating clean foods, moving a lot, sleeping a lot, getting restful sleep. But the biggest thing to me personally is the relationships part. Having healthy relationships with people you know that you can trust, people you know that care about you, that you care about them. That reduces stress. I don't know if there's much science behind that. That's one thing I wholeheartedly believe in. So telling your loved ones you love them, having them tell you that they love you. Sorry, that bit of a mumble jumbled in my words, but that's really it. Like, it's not something that you're like, well, I have to take ashwagandha to reduce my stress levels. Will that kind of help? Possibly. But if you just keep all the main things in check, like you keep up with your people who you're close to, you are not inherently focusing on everything else too much, but just, again, hitting your floors, reducing your stress levels that way is going to be the most beneficial for you. It doesn't have to be this whole morning routine, nightly routine. It doesn't have to be monotonous stuff that is going to help you reduce stress levels by drinking a certain type of tea. Just knowing that you are loved and you love other people, and you have your stuff in check will just change your life, I'm telling you. But that's all from me. Look, I think that health is the one thing in life that you can wholeheartedly control yourself, is your bodily health. And if you don't, you're doing a disservice to yourself. I'm not going to force it upon you, but I am just here to tell you the benefits of it, because there are endless. Exercise and movement and controlling your health is the best thing you can do for your mortality rate, to live the longest, to live the best life you can, to have the longest health span. Exercise and movement and eating well and stressing less, sleeping more, and having loving relationships. If you really think about it, that's not that hard. And it's not going to take control of your life. There's a lot of fitness influencers who portray these lifestyles of, like, whatever it is, in terms of working out 34 hours a day and then going home to their perfect family. And a lot of people can't have that like lifestyle, just because you work a different job, you work different hours, you different city, different lifestyles, whatever it is. And people think that they can't look like that. You don't have to look like that to have a healthy life. Your healthy life is what your healthy life is. Your healthy life isn't their healthy life. So just taking control of what you can is the best way to do that. That's it from me. I didn't say what episode we're on. We're on episode 18. Nearly rolling in on episode 20, which is kind of crazy to me. That'd be nearly, what, 5 months? 4 weeks, yeah. 4 weeks, 5 months, yeah. That's wild. That's crazy. But again, I love you guys. If you guys have anything we want me to talk about, let me know, DM me, or comment on this video if you have it. But again, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. I don't know why I said again. I think that's the first time I said that in all these episodes. But if you want to, like, subscribe, and yeah, share the love if you can, and spread the message. Tell people to take care of themselves, even because it's not that fucking hard. There you go. But all right, I'll see you next episode. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and definitely do what I would do, except for sometimes, because I do some dumb shit. But I love you.